So often as a creative, as an artist, as a business owner or entrepreneur, we compromise on what to charge because we are so grateful for the work in the competitive industry and markets that we work in as performers or artists or whatever it is that you do. But how do we decode the question of how much should I charge? What am I worth? Because there's an elusive question of aligning your skills with the compensation that you deserve.
Hey, I'm Lara, an artist, educator and entrepreneur who's danced through life in Australia, London and California. Now I'm an Aussie in Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Juggling roles as an artist, ex-dancer, current actor, author, professional educator and qualified life coach, I'm also a wife and mother of two. Join me on this podcast crafted for creative souls at every level, entrepreneurs, artists, dreamers and hope-filled humans alike. I'm here to guide you towards a life of love, purpose, adventure, and boundless creativity. As a healthy, wealthy, and wise creative soul, I invite you to hit subscribe for weekly inspiration. Anticipate solo episodes, exclusive interviews with creative luminaries, and insightful discussions with my hottie hubby, Andrew, a specialist performance physical therapist, as we delve into the dynamics of relationships and more. Dive into a 360-degree view of making a creative life you'll love. Welcome to another episode of Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Artist. I'm Lara, your host, and if you have ever found yourself pondering the daunting question of how much should I charge and what am I worth, you're in good company. We all know the feeling, you pour your heart and soul into your craft only to be left wondering, am I charging enough? Am I selling myself short? What are the industry rates anyway? In the artistic and entrepreneurial realms, this dilemma is far too familiar. So we're delving into the heart of the matter, addressing the pain points and challenges many individuals face when trying to align their skills with fair financial compensation, particularly when it's not set for you, which it often isn't in the creative world, and you need to drive that area yourself. I've recently received a thought-provoking question from a podcast listener that echoes the sentiments of countless others. She said, I struggle to understand my giftings, my purpose, my worth, and my value in receiving a wage that honors my skills. How can I ever receive this? So stick around as we unpack this question and adventure to unravel the layers of understanding your financial worth. To kick things off, let me share my early struggles. Valuing my work at its true worth felt like navigating an uncharted territory for me because as a performer who's now also turned business owner, but to be honest, back then I was always a business owner because essentially when you're a freelance artist, you are a business owner. But I realized back then that despite my undeniable skills, and at that point I was highly skilled in terms of I had a degree, I had a graduate diploma, many artists often feel like they need help to value their services fairly. So I want to explore all of the hurdles I faced and the importance of cultivating particularly a professional mindset and approach to your work as an approach to answer this question. Part of the problem and the pain point is that so often, particularly in performing arts or any kind of whether you're music producing or directing, often there's so many people that they could choose that you don't want to dare ruffle their feathers. You'd say, I'd do anything just to work. I would work for free. And there begins a lot of the dilemma. There's 1,000 other girls lined up to do this job that I just booked, so I will take less than a wage. Luckily for a lot of us, unions like SAG-AFTRA and other places like that set industry rates, which is very, very helpful, but that's not always the case. So if you've ever found yourself grappling with questions about your worth and struggling to determine what price tag to attach to your passion, you're in the right place. So let's dive deep into strategies and mindsets that will help you understand your value and empower you to claim your value confidently. Here it is. Understanding your worth stems from cultivating a professional mindset and approach to your work. The essence of purpose and worth can be traced back to your mindset and approach to your commitments. When I transitioned from haphazard online postings before I'd started my business, LaraBiancaPilcher.com, I was haphazard. I did things here and there whenever. There wasn't a particular schedule. But when I decided I'm going pro, I'm running a business, not only as an artist, but as a life coach, I was dedicated and I wanted a purpose-driven strategy to establish myself in those fields. As I said, life coach, professional actor, educator, and business owner through LaraBiancaPilcher.com. It was a journey with each of these areas in my life of a mindset moving from amateur to professional. And in the episode before, a few episodes back on purpose, I really talk about this more because when you think like an amateur but you're a professional, then you often you haven't got the mindset. But you could also be an amateur but think like a professional because it's all about that mindset. And when you make it a choice, things change for you. Make it a choice to think professionally no matter where you are at. Think like a pro. So now I have a consistent approach because I think like a pro. I am a pro, so I will share my content as an example on social media with intention. I'll maintain an active website. I'll engage with the world daily with this professional mindset, whether recording regular podcasts or writing blogs or auditioning or applying for creative performing work. I don't operate based on how I feel. I approach it as a professional who shows up consistently, regardless of my mood or my circumstances, whereas an amateur can be more lax about their creative work and their approach. And it's like, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it, or life's too hard, I haven't scheduled any time. And that approach can actually make you devalue your own worth. In personal and professional development, it's rooted in your mindset. A pro embraces challenges, is committed to growth, and remembers that despite their imperfections, they are dedicated to improvement and propelled towards mastery, meaning that you are committed to transcending any limitation that you're facing, whether it be the start or the middle of your career, that you are going to keep going. There is a great quote I recently posted on my Twitter and my threads, and wherever you find me, you'll see this quote, but it's about not downgrading your dreams because your current reality doesn't match where you want to be, but it's upgrading your thought life, upgrading your approach to your goals in order to match your aspirations and where you want to be in life. A lot of this comes down to how you think. A lot of your success, a lot of not falling into spirals of negativity and depression comes down to you identifying, pinpointing your thoughts and not allowing them to take away from your dreams and aspirations with a negativity. So let's shift that mindset from amateur to professional, whether you are a professional or not, because charging what you are genuinely worth requires this mindset shift. Drawing from my personal experiences as a performer turned business owner, it's evident that merely possessing skills is not enough, because a professional mindset, commitment, and intentional approach to what you do in your work is essential. Whether you're a life coach, whether you're an actor, an educator, a dancer, a singer, a visual artist, adopting a purpose-filled mindset will transform sporadic efforts into a dedicated commitment. Professionalism isn't solely based, but rooted in a growth-orientated mindset, acknowledging that mastery is a journey of continuous improvement. It's not a one-hit wonder with the artistic creative industries. It is constantly improving. Imagine Coca-Cola going, we've landed, we've arrived, we don't have to act pro anymore. No, they've got to a standard, but they have to stay there. They have to stay professional. That's a very big example, but you get what I'm saying. So you've got to resist shortcuts and distractions, embracing challenges, committing to the creative process. All of this is really essential in knowing your worth. So whether you're a seasoned professional or a beginner, your mindset defines your approach and consequently your worth, your financial worth. Watch that cheeky, sneaky poverty mindset that can come up out of fear, out of a fear of lack, a fear of scarcity. There isn't enough to go round, so I'm going to compromise myself. Because when you do that, you are devaluing yourself. So if you aspire to feel financially worthy of compensation to match your skills, focus on developing the ability to think like a pro. It goes beyond mere maintenance. It involves actively cultivating this mindset where you consistently show up, you consistently commit. You draw a parallel between being a professional, like an athlete, and an amateur. And you're like, if I was an amateur athlete, I wouldn't go out and do my run this morning, but I think like a pro, so I'm going to go out and do my run because it's a commitment that is required in order to show up as the creative, the artist, the entrepreneur that I am, to run the business that I run creatively, whatever it is for you. Because a professional consistently shows up without excuses. And that commitment is absolutely vital to establishing your financial worthiness. So it is a journey of personal growth. Whether it's rehearsal that you're going to, where you need to actually act pro, and that starts for me the night before, and I think it should for most creatives, that you make sure you get enough sleep and all of those things so that you can show up and do your best work. Recognizing your worth goes beyond just acknowledging it. Oh, I'm worthy. No, it goes beyond that. It involves claiming it as your birthright. That goes down into the DNA, your soul, your worth, into your psychology, because valuing yourself and your contributions to this world is a responsibility that sets the stage for thriving personally and professionally, as in not just your creative work, but how you feel about yourself. In this journey, it's making it clear that compromising your worth is just a non-negotiable for you, because passion and joy should align with compensation, as in what you're putting into your work and what you're passionate about, and the effort you're putting in should align, because money becomes the energetic exchange of recognizing your value. Asserting your worth involves proactive communication, whether negotiating rates or expressing interest in a project. Confidently state your value. This mindset shift positions you as a professional, commanding respect for your skills and contributions. Balancing the energy exchange, because it's like an effort-reward balance in your pursuits, becomes not only a goal, but a natural outcome of owning your value. And of course, your value isn't confined to numbers. It's a subjective declaration. In determining how much to charge, focus first on crafting an experience that makes your audience or your customers feel they've gained exceptional value. Because it's not just about the price, it's about becoming the provider that your audience or your customers genuinely need. So rather than fixating on the question, what am I worth? Shift your focus to, who do I need to become to provide exceptional value to this person? Consider the long-term impact of your results and aim to exceed those expectations. I remember I was offered less than I was worth to do a choreography job on a musical in a college, and I went back and said, this is what I usually charge. And I already had a good reputation with this person, and they came back and they managed to be able to meet my worth, because I knew that I would give exceptional quality, exceptional value. And you know how I justified it to them? I said, I work fast and I work efficient because of my experience. So overall, you're not going to be paying more, because I'm not going to be here for 8 weeks, because I don't need 8 weeks to get this job done. I knew I only needed 4 weeks, and I knew that I would do it with efficiency, that the students would know their choreography, and I went in there and I got what I was worth. For less hours, yes, because I was okay with that. But I got what I was worth because I knew that I would offer exceptional value. So ask yourself, can you do that? Because if you can, there is a way to get them to pay your worth if you know that you will efficiently, effectively, and above and beyond do an amazing job. And of course, if they can't pay it, even with all of that said, you have a choice. Take it or walk away, but don't do it with resentment. Resentment is always a key that a boundary's being crossed within you. So pay attention to what you're feeling and whether resentment is building up because you're not getting what you're worth from somebody. But become this standout individual who consistently delivers outstanding performance, shifts the dynamics of the financial game into your favor. Because understanding that people seek solutions to existing problems is crucial. Identify the pain points in your field and try to meet those pain points and even surpass them. And this is whether you're a singer-songwriter, a visual artist, creating commissioned work, a choreographer, an educator. Focus on solving the immediate problems, meeting those needs rather than preventative measures. Effectively market your solution by addressing specific and pressing pain points. For example, what happened for me, I was saying, you need this musical done well, the choreography, you need it done fast, and you've got a lot of other things to do. I can meet those pain points with my solution, get it done effectively, get it done fast, and get it done with quality that is outstanding, ensuring that your audience for you recognizes the transformative value that you can bring when you offer what you do, the way you do it. So in conclusion, determining your value and setting prices is not just about monetary figures. It's about embracing a mindset of continuous improvement, confidently claiming your worth, and delivering exceptional value beyond their expectations. By doing so, you position yourself as a professional who understands their worth and consistently exceeds it. And man, does that bring joy. I would love to know what you think about this area. If you've got anything else that's working for you, go to my social media, drop me a comment. I'm always, for every episode, posting something online or in my stories. DM me, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Threads, wherever you show up. I would love to hear from you what you do or don't do that works and how this episode has helped you or any other suggestions that you have. I always love to have a dialogue with my listeners. Thank you for joining me in exploring and understanding your value, your worthiness. Remember, you're not just an artist, a creative, you're a professional, and it's time to own your worth. P.S. Don't forget to jump onto Spotify or Apple. Scroll down to the end of where you see Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Artist and tap 5 stars for a review because that really helps me go up in the algorithm and gets more people listening. And I would love to have that exchange with you. I'm with you on the journey, friends. Phew, today's masterclass is done. I love reaching back and saying, I've done this and helping you learn the easy way. If you want more, head to larabiancapilcher.com for show notes, links, freebies, my blog, coaching and courses, and you can also head to my socials, Lara Bianca Pilcher on Instagram and Facebook. I'm also on Twitter and Pinterest. Thanks again for listening. Please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. That would mean the world to me. And of course, keep on living the healthy, wealthy, wise artist living towards your dream life. Bye, friends. P.S. Shout out to my hottie hubby, Andrew Pilcher, who does all the editing on this podcast.